My name is Mike Isaac. I run the AKC retail program nationwide. What I want to do with you guys today is go over how to utilize the resource kit as well as all the components of the AKC retail program. So first and foremost, the AKC resource kit has to be brought out with every single puppy. So these are individualized and attached, if you will, to the puppy. So the information that's provided inside of it, so for this one is the mini Australian Shepherd. So the information inside of this, it's so imperative that you actually pull this out and hand it and go over it with the customer. Customers are visual learners, so you can talk to them just like I'm talking to you guys now, and they really are going to only retain, well, normally people retain about 11% of what you tell them with a puppy in front of them. Can you imagine what percentage it really is? Mm-hmm. So in this scenario, the reason this has been created is really to kind of give you an outline and to be able to tell you step by step what information to give over to the customer. Inside of your resource book, one of the major components is your health record. So you want to make sure your customer understands that all your puppies are up to date on vaccinations, deworming, and the things that you already tell them. And I know you're thinking, well, I already tell them this information. When you hand it to them, it really kind of makes it a little more real. It's an interesting process, and it's just kind of how we learn. It's the process of us kind of hearing the information. In addition, you're going to show them, if they have a rabies vaccination certificate, their USDA report. So this is an important tool that you guys are going to be able to use in addition to saying, hey, our store works with the American Kennel Club. So all of our breeders that have AKC breed stock, if you will, or AKC puppies, they're inspected by the AKC as well. So what these are third-party endorsements for you guys, if you will. So not only are you guys visiting your breeders, you have your USDA inspection report, and you guys are also partnered with the American Kennel Club. This information is important to your customer because when we're looking to make buying decisions, we're really looking for support, if you will. So when we go to restaurants, the reason we choose restaurants to eat at is because they're inspected, if you will. So if you look outside of the window of a restaurant, have you guys ever noticed like the A, B, C, D rating? Well, that's important. So you know not only is the restaurant owner saying, hey, we provide healthy meals here, but somebody is also inspecting and endorsing, if you will, that their food is healthy as well. So inside of your AKC resource kit, not only do you want to go over your items that are already in here that are specific to the puppy, you also want to talk about all the components of the AKC program. So one of the components is all of your puppies are microchipped for lifetime identification. You guys are all familiar with a microchip, I'm sure. Your customer does not quite understand what a microchip is. You really honestly need to kind of break that down a little bit for them and explain a microchip is a grain of rice size mechanism that is implanted in the floating epidermis of the dog. It does not harm the dog to be in what we call the floating epidermis. So we have one layer of skin for us. Dogs in their world, kind of almost have two layers of skin. That's why you can almost rotate their skin literally almost all the way around the dog. So we're actually implanting that microchip in what is called the floating epidermis, blubber, if you will. And in that, the microchip is to stay in that spot, and that's why we implant it there. It doesn't harm the puppy. It doesn't move. It should not really technically move around the puppy. It's very rare that it ever would, because these are questions your customers are going to ask. In addition, you also want to make sure your customer understands this is not a GPS. So when you put the microchip in the puppy, it doesn't mean I'm going to know where it is in the world. A microchip is an electronic dog tag. So what we're going to do today when they leave the store is we're going to take their information, attach it to the puppy, and they're now going to be the official owner of the puppy. So right now, the information that's attached to the puppy is the family puppy. And we're going to make sure that they become the official owner. We're going to, quote, transfer ownership of the puppy to them today. So that's an important term you want to use and tell the customer, hey, we're going to transfer the official ownership to you today because they're the official owner. It's kind of like when we have kids, so in the hospital, I become the official father that day that I sign the birth certificate. They're becoming the official puppy parents that day as well. So when we register the microchip, it enrolls it into a nationwide database for lost dogs and cats. 1 in 3 pets in their lifetime is lost. So I have 4 dogs and myself, and I can tell you they've been lost more than one time, to be honest with you. But it does happen. And you know, dogs can't speak. They say a couple words that we make up, but they can't really say, hey, I live with Mike and he lives off of Loomis Street. So we have to make sure that we have every protection possible in order to get that communication out to the public to get the puppy back to us as well. So we're going to attach them to the dog today with a nationwide database. In addition, they're also going to enroll into an Amber Alert system for dogs and cats, which is called AKC Reunite. And what that is if a pet is ever lost or stolen, which I just said 1 in 3 is lost in their lifetime, they're going to send an Amber Alert, which is just like that for humans. So they're going to send a Amber Alert within a 50-mile radius to everyone in the network. They're going to send it to veterinarians, shelters, municipalities, anyone, quite frankly, that they can get that information out to. And that is 50 miles of where the pet was last seen. So if the customer goes on vacation, they're going to send it out where their vacation spot is or where the pet was actually last seen. So in addition to your AKC Reunite, and if you use your back tool here, all your pets, all your puppies will be registered within the American Kennel Club, or they'll be listed with a Canine Partner Certificate. So AKC has, if you will, 2 different groups within the American Kennel Club registry group. So they have the AKC Standard, which that means that the sire and dame are both AKC registered. So the mom is AKC registered, the dad is AKC registered, and inevitably the puppies are AKC registered. So some of the questions you guys may get is, hey, if the mom is AKC and the dad is another registry, what is the offspring? So in that case, the offspring is always what the other registry is. So both parents have to be AKC registered in order for the offspring to be AKC registered as well. Now, if you have puppies that are from another registry, such as let's say CKC or some other registry out there, or a mixed breed puppy such as a Morkie, I think you have a Morkie there, right? So, such as a Morkie, where you have 2 purebred dogs that are mated together from 2 different purebred lineages to make a Morkie or a Golden Doodle, those puppies are still part of the AKC registration. They're just part of the AKC Canine Partners Group. So Canine Partners Group comprises of purebred dogs of other registries and mixed breed puppies of 2 purebred dogs. Does that make sense to you guys? So you have your 2 different groups, your AKC Standard registration and your AKC Canine Partners registration. In addition, every puppy will receive 30 days of AKC Pet Healthcare Insurance. So your AKC Pet Healthcare Insurance covers up to $1,500 in total coverage, $500 per incident. Your customers do need to activate the insurance. To do that, they need to name the puppy. Once they name the puppy, they then can activate their insurance. So there's a couple of steps that your customer has to do after they take the puppy home from here. Step 1, because they've already paid for the registration, there is no additional charge that the customer has. All they really need to do is contact the AKC, or the AKC will contact them as well, and all they have to do is really name the puppy. That gives them the official ownership there, and they're going to complete their registration, then they can activate their insurance. In addition, all of your customers are going to receive a year subscription of the AKC Family Dog Magazine. This is a dog magazine that's written by retail editors, so it's geared more towards, quite frankly, your retail everyday dog lover. Lastly, all of your customers are eligible to join AKC events and rallies, so events in the local Detroit area or events in, let's even say here in Flint. If there is an obedience rally or a coursing event, they're eligible to join that as well. And before your customers leave the store, you guys have your AKC New Puppy Handbooks here at the store level. That's part of the AKC program, so you're going to make sure you put that inside of your resource book. Lastly, pets are, when pets join our family, there's part of an acquisition period, or getting quite frankly acquainted with the puppy and the puppy acquainted with us. And there may be some training questions that come up during this period. So we want to make sure we equip them with the right tools in order to get past, quite frankly, some of these training processes. Part of the AKC retail program is your customer is going to have a lifetime subscription to the AKC Good Dog Helpline. This is a live AKC trainer that they can call. The operators are there 7 days a week, and they answer questions, quite frankly, from how do I get my puppy to be potty trained, to introducing the puppy to other puppies, as well as an adolescent dog. As they get a little bit older, their behavior sometimes changes, and getting us to kind of understand that if you were to compare puppies to humans, as a baby develops, we're training is probably the wrong word, but we're helping our young child understand the real world. Now, as my parents get a little bit older, there are certain behaviors that change with my parents and me learning how to adapt with that as well. So your Good Dog Helpline trainer is there for the lifetime of the pet, so they will be able to call the lifetime trainer when the pet is 13 years of age and saying, hey, my puppy is potty trained and all of a sudden it's starting to pee in the house again. What do I do? And it's just understanding these behaviors and being able to kind of cope with them. Do you guys have any questions about any of the AKC program? So kind of in conclusion, you have a unique AKC retail program that goes home with every single one of your puppies. The family puppy has been very intricate with your breeders and quite frankly has promoted your breeders to work closer with the American Kennel Club and help you guys have more AKC registered puppies. So quite frankly, in conclusion, you're setting your customers up for success. The idea is that you want to have a smooth transition from your store to home, and you want to be able to give them resources, if you will, like post-sale. So the relationship with your customer doesn't stop when they take the puppy home from here. It's 13, 14, 15 years afterwards, and we want to make sure we have a successful transition. I want to thank you guys for what you guys do with the American Kennel Club, and John and Debbie Stottle for all of you guys, all that you guys do, not necessarily just inside of the store, but what you guys do with breeders and within your network as well.